Welcome to the Campfire. This week we're taking a deep dive into District 9 5A Division 2. The teams in this district: Iowa Colony, Baytown Lee, Fort Bend Marshall, Randall, Lamar Consolidated, Rosenberg Terry, Santa Fe, and Texas City. So let's analyze this district in our Randall's Film Session. In 9 5A Division 2, there are the haves and the have-nots. This district, very top-heavy, and we're starting with the school which always has the athletes, Fort Bend Marshall. And that will ring true this fall as well, with speedy receivers Jacaden Ferguson and Andre Feast flying down the field, and Caleb Chester in the defensive backfield. The Buffs, though, will need to settle in on a quarterback to be a serious state contender. A lot of attention is being paid to Iowa Colony, the Pioneers moving up from 4A to 5A. Iowa Colony is experienced and young and led by defensive standouts Chris Johnson and Hayden Caston, plus newcomer of the year in his district, Carson White at quarterback. Richmond Randall had a heck of a year in 2023, and the sky's the limit for a Lions team which still has 3 more years left of running back Landon Callis Williams. The sophomore rushed for just under 2,000 yards as a freshman and already has offers from Alabama and Georgia. Texas City put together a solid year in 2023, losing just twice, once to state champion Port Neches Groves and another to regional finalist Huntsville. That's not too shabby. Rosenberg Terry is dropping down from Division 1, where it managed just 2 wins a year ago. Santa Fe sweeping through its non-district schedule last year, but only got 1 win in district play, while Lamar Consolidated will be searching for more offense during its 2024 season.
The Film Session is brought to you by Randall's. Find these great items on the Chevrolet Inside High School Sports End Cap and take your shopping game to the next level. Chevrolet Inside High School Sports is brought to you by the Houston area Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive.
For an even deeper look at 9 5A Division 2, here's producer Ward Fasol with the Houston Chronicle's John Poorman with the District Breakdown.
District Breakdown time. We are talking 9-5A Division 2, our last Division 2 district in the Houston area. John Poorman's with me in the Houston Chronicle. 8-team district, but it sure seems top-heavy to me, man. Maybe just start off and talk about who you see as the top teams in this district.
Yeah, this is a really exciting district because, the top 3 teams coming back were all in different districts last year. So, you have some really good battles on our hands here once we get into district play in this one. And those top 3 teams that I'm talking about, of course, are Iowa Colony, Fort Bend Marshall, and Randall. Iowa Colony and Randall are obviously 2 younger programs. Iowa Colony played in 4A last year, but they really had a breakthrough season, getting into the playoffs and winning a bunch of games. And Randall as well, can't say enough about what they did, finishing as a district runner-up behind a really talented Lake Creek team last year, and then making some noise in the playoffs of their own. So those are the 2 new up-and-coming programs that have really jumped onto the scene. And then of course you have Fort Bend Marshall, the perennial power, down there in Fort Bend County. Just year after year, they're going to have talent, they're going to have good coaching, and that they're going to be able to win a lot of games. And so I'm really looking at those 3 teams in particular. We'll see how things kind of line up. When you're talking about, these 4 playoff spots, Texas City is a team that's had a lot of recent success as well. So they could definitely get into the mix. But I'm really interested to see how these 3 teams coming from different districts in the previous alignment really match up with each other and which one can come out on top.
John, I appreciate you joining us, man. Have a good week.
Sounds good. You too.
We'll post the entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. And now let's take a look at some game changers in our Players on the Rise, presented by Parker University. Fort Bend Marshall almost always has speed at the wideout position, and that will hold true this fall with Jacaden Ferguson, As a junior, he snagged 48 balls for 558 yards and 5 scores, and that included a 96-yard touchdown reception as well. Jacaden, lightning fast. With an inexperienced quarterback, though, he'll need to turn quick passes into big gainers to help move the Buffs down the field. Ferguson has offers from Arkansas, Alabama, Washington, among others. There are big-time defenders in 9-5A, but maybe none more imposing than Randall defensive lineman Chase Sims. The senior had a breakout junior year with 86 tackles, 18 for loss, and 11 sacks for a ferocious Lion defense. This 300-pounder already has more than 120 career tackles, and his strength gets him to the ball carrier quickly. Chase has offers from Texas Tech, LSU, and Texas, among others. Staying on the D-line, Iowa Colony's Christopher Johnson isn't one to mess with either. He too gets after the ball carrier swiftly, as he had 18 tackles for loss as a junior to go along with 59 total takedowns and 8 sacks. The Pioneers going up in competition, but expect to see Johnson in the backfield disrupting plays all season long. He's committed to the Baylor Bears. If there's a play to be made on the ball, Texas City safety Xavier Skowron is the man to do it. A serious hard hitter, he's ranked as one of the top 50 safeties in the country for his class. He's also anchored a special defense and came up with a few turnovers as well. Look for Skowron to dish out more headaches to district foes in 2024. He's verbally committed to Arizona State.
Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Do you or your student want a career training the world's best athletes? Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today.
Our Ward Fasold catching up with Texas City head coach Sean Evans to talk about his stingerees in our Media Day segment.
All right, it is Media Day, and I am joined by Texas City head coach Sean Evans. And Coach, you had a heck of a year last year. I mean, you look at the 2 losses you had to the state champion and the state semifinalist, right, or regional finalist with Huntsville, and that game was a 3-pointer. So just talk about how excited you were at the end of that season, just with the momentum you kind of built off of that.
Excited going into it and, crushed at the end. That senior class was, you're not blessed to coach a senior class like that. We just ran into a buzzsaw of Huntsville, a very well-coached team, tremendous athletes, and how they finished 4th in that district just speaks volumes of that district as well. But it took a while to get over that one because that senior class was a special group, and I was only blessed to coach them for 2 years. But the bonds that were built were lifetime bonds, a bunch of special individuals in that group. And, before I got there, they were an extremely close group. Their families are close, the kids are close, the girlfriends are close. So you adopt something that, just as close, and for them to take me in the way that they did and make me a part of their family, and then just, they run through a wall for you. And, at the end of the year, the clock's always going to say 0. And you hope that you're the one that's putting a ring on your finger. And it's, and all coaches around the world feel it, but that was a special group, and that was a hard one to get over. It truly was.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thanks again. Have a good week.
Yes, sir. You too.
You can watch that entire interview Friday on our social media channels. That's going to do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we head to District 9 5A Division 1. Until then, have a great week, everybody.